The opinions expressed in the following program are solely those of the host. The following program may contain coarse language and is intended for an adult audience. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to Climax Radio, the home of new music, hidden gems, and great talk to start your day with a bang. Spice up your long and boring commutes to and from work. Get excited again. Listen to Climax Radio in your car, on the bus, or riding the rails. And now, the hosts of Climax Radio, Magnum and Radio Free G.
Once again, from Mission Control, located at the corner of Walk and Don't Walk. Think about it. This is Climax Radio.
Oh yeah, baby. We're back. I'm excited, and I'm still thinking about that.
The corner of Walk and Don't Walk?
Yeah.
The signs.
Yeah.
That flash, Walk and Don't Walk. They're like street signs.
Yeah.
But pretend they're names. Pretend that's the name of the street. Walk and Don't Walk, right?
Yes, I got it.
Excellent.
Maybe you should have put between Walking Man and Red Hand.
Walking Man and Red Hand?
Yeah, because here it doesn't say Walk and Don't Walk.
That doesn't really
slip
off the tongue.
I mean, I know it doesn't, but that's the way it is here.
Well, here, yeah, but I mean, you know, it's also a little bit in the future. I mean, in the past, they had Walk and Don't Walk, right?
Here? Did they?
In the here? Oh, yeah.
Really? I don't recall.
I think
the hand and the little man.
No, I think they got rid of it. Like in the old parts of the city, it used to say Walk and Don't Walk.
Really?
I remember, yeah.
Or that boop beep, boop beep. Remember that?
Oh, for the
For the deaf, the blind.
For the deaf. There's sirens for the Well, I'm sure even the deaf listen to Climax Radio Show.
Oh, yes.
Because it's that damn good. I am your host, as always, Radio Free G, along with
Mr. Magnum here.
And this is part 2 of show 6. It is still mid-February, and I'm looking out the windows of Mission Control here. I'm not going to enjoy digging my car out of the snow.
It's not that bad. It's pretty mild.
You know what? For the past 2 weeks, enough snow has fallen that I don't want to see anymore. Because I've become very tired.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, thick, wet, heavy snow. You know, and that's just outside the house. But anyways, before we get going on this show, one little piece of feedback that I have received. I ran into an old manager of mine. I was in a bookstore, and you know we only really have one bookstore in Canada from coast to coast, so it's not going to be hard to figure out which one that is.
Right.
I was in there, and I was looking for some books on backgammon, but I'll leave that for my own personal show. You'll hear promos for that and for Mr. Magnum's own show later on. I was in there looking, and I ran into one of my old managers, and he is a listener of he is a listener to the show.
Oh.
And he really enjoyed that we cut the show up into part 1 and part 2.
Really?
Yes. He did find it difficult to listen to the entire 2-hour show at once.
Okay.
He likes that it can be burned onto one CD.
Okay.
Now, he has many things going on in his life right now. He has a new baby on the way.
Mm-hmm.
His wife is taking some time off work, obviously, to have the new baby. He's doing some renovations to his house. It is go, go, go for him.
Right.
He loves that he can take the show, put it on a CD, fast forward, skip ahead, do whatever, put it on in the background when he's at home. People that we have studying, they put it on. Go and download part 1 of show 6, and you will hear a call from a member of the listenership. She says she puts the show on while she's doing her studies and uses it as background music.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually living away from home right now, and it makes her feel a little bit more comfortable. It gives her that little warm fuzzy feeling by listening to us.
I see.
You know, because I mean, as the show goes on, we become part of people's families.
Yes.
You know, we become their friends on the other side of the speaker.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes.
Much like there is one of my favorite radio programs right now is called Coast to Coast AM.
Right.
They have this show policy. They have one main host, one main co-host that does part-time work, and then 3 or 4 other people that sort of give everyone vacations as the year goes on.
Uh-huh.
They plot all of their vacation time in advance. Okay? And it's not like, oh, the guy who's been there the longest gets to pick and choose. They have a lottery system, so everyone gets, a Christmas off or a New Year's Day off or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But they have a no repeat policy.
Okay.
It could be midnight on New Year's Eve, midnight on Easter, midnight on Christmas. It doesn't matter. Whoever is scheduled to do that show will do the show, because they know that you sit down, you have your Thanksgiving dinner, you have your Easter lamb meal, you have your Christmas turkey, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They know that you see your family in the flesh, and then in the evening there's a lot of people who tune in to hear their family on the radio.
Oh.
And I know we're getting to that point. We're only 6 episodes deep, but I know that with some people we are already at that point for them.
Mm.
To them I say thank you.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to fill you in on that, because I'm sure that if we get feedback from one person about something, there's probably 1,000 people listening to the show that think that same way.
Yeah.
And I have received 0 negative feedback about chopping the show up into 2 separate parts.
That's great.
As long as you subscribe on iTunes or through the RSS feed or any way that you choose to subscribe, we prefer that you subscribe through iTunes. It makes our life easier, and you will get everything that's coming to you. Shows are downloaded automatically. Right now you're listening to part 2. We're going to make references to some things that happened in part 1. You can go, grab it, listen to it, burn it, save it for posterity, and it's available to you whenever you need your Climax radio show fix.
Perfect.
So, Mr. Magnum, how are things gone for you since the taping of the last show?
Very well.
Very well?
What else can I say?
Well, I mean, I remember you saying that there were some projects that you had on the go. I mean, I hope that some of those haven't fallen apart. I haven't heard anything about them, so I'm just assuming that they all went well.
Everything went A-okay.
Okay, perfect. I had a whole nother intro set up, but then I ran into my manager over there.
Right.
His name is Eric. Hello,
right.
Eric. Thank you very much for all your support. I hope that by the time you listen to this, I can't remember how far along you said your wife was, but all the best to you. I mean, if she happens to be in labor or if you've just had the kid, please feel free to put our show on CD and you can play it for the new son or daughter that's coming. I mean, you might as well start them off on the right foot.
Exactly. I agree.
Let me give you my rundown for the show. In part 1, we said that we were going to break a new artist named Matt Emperker. We played one song from him called The Last Time. I'm going to play another song from him this time in part 2 called Survive.
Mm-hmm.
The song we played in part 1 called The Last Time, that was very good. Survive has a lot to live up to in terms of my expectations after having heard that first song from him. So we have Survive. Next, I will be playing, as part of a twin bill, there was a request for some Bugs Bunny cartoon audio.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I did manage to track it down. It took me a little while. That was one of the reasons why we had a little bit of a lull between episode 5 and episode 6. But I did manage to track it down. This show, it really got my juices flowing, and I started watching a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube that I hadn't seen in forever.
Oh, okay.
So I have what is quite possibly the best Bugs Bunny cartoon ever made. It's called Hillbilly Hair. I have the audio from that cartoon. It's not the whole cartoon because the music and singing only comes at the end.
Okay.
But it shows that Looney Tunes were so far ahead of their time, and nothing compares to it on TV today. So I'm going to play Hillbilly Hair.
Okay.
And I am going to play as my last song a track called Come Into My Life. I know that mashups are normally Mr. Magnum's forte on this show here. This, I wouldn't say it's a mashup, but it has one of those weird titles with like a V in it for verses.
Oh, yeah.
So it is, the artists are Smood versus Natasha Grin, and it comes off one of my absolute favorite compilations that just keep pumping out the hits.
Oh.
Erotic Lounge 6.
Oh, yes.
Seductive Pearls, and I will
Yes.
talk more about that later.
Okay.
Mr. Magnum, hit us up with your set
Okay.
list.
My set list. We have a soundtrack CD from The Motorcycle Diaries. Great movie. I encourage everyone to rent it. It's mainly a instrumental. It's all instrumental tracks, and it's all composed by one guy, Gustavo Santolala. Santolala. I hope I'm
Santolala. Santolala?
No, Santa Olala.
Santa Olala.
Santa Olala?
Is he Irish?
No, it's Argentinian.
Argentina.
Great CD. The next one, Big Sugar. Going back a few years to their cover of Dear Mr. Fantasy.
Yes.
Okay. I have a mashup from a DJ who goes by the name Comar, Comar, and the track he's come up with is Shut Up on a Blue Monday, and I'll give more details when I play the track.
Okay, sounds excellent. Now, we did mention a little bit more about all of these tracks that Mr. Magnum brought to the table.
Yeah.
We mentioned them a little bit in part one, so there's a little bit more history if you go back and grab part one. It will only just, of course, add to your enjoyment of the show. You don't have to go back and grab part one now, but keep that in the back of your minds, and we will make mention of it at the end of the show here. Now, I ended off the last show. I ended off part one, so I'm going to start part two here, and the first song that I'm going to play is the song Survive by Matt Empiker. I mentioned in part one, and I'm going to mention it again here now, his web space. His home on the interweb is myspace.com/MATTEMPACHER. All the links are up at climaxradioshow.com if you didn't get that all down. He is an artist that has been in the game for 10 years now. He is a solo artist. He has been going since 1997. He has a CD out that he's publishing himself called Everything. It has a couple of live tracks, and it also has material that he worked on in the studio. You can check YouTube for him, and you can find some of his shows available for you to watch. I mean, he's playing a lot of small club shows right now. I met him at the opening of a art gallery. The art gallery is called The Painted Lady.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google that and check out that establishment as well. It was him and his guitar. I read this on the last show. I'm going to read it again for you now. This is the About Matt section of the MySpace page. Don't let the acoustic guitar fool you. This ain't the John Mayer show. In a world of sensitive, touchy-feely acoustic pop, Matt Empiker is an angst-ridden and aggressive alternative. Matt's debut CD, Everything, featuring 15 songs, was recorded guerrilla style in various locations using whatever equipment was available. A sparse affair, just a guitar and vocal track, few overdubs, and almost no effects. The bare naked sound only makes it more intense. Highlights include Don't Talk, Just Drive, Meant to Last, and If. Plans are underway for another album already, but everything is available everywhere Matt is playing. I really enjoyed the first song we played from him. Without further ado, I'm going to play you the second track. This is called Survive off the CD, the debut CD, Everything.
Now these things I cannot change, a life that must be rearranged. Won't always go my way, that I am sure. There will be pain and tears, and still I know I will survive. I will survive. She's gonna pack her things and she's gonna go. She's gonna leave me, she's 10 feet out the door. And for a while I know it's gonna hurt. Rain drowning warm sunshine and shatters the nerve. I will survive. I will survive. Sometimes you think you're just gonna die, think I'd like to get high. Somewhere in pain there is pinhole light. Even the darkest night has stars in the sky.
So tell me, did you climax? You love the show. You hate the show. Make your opinion count. Call Climax phone, toll free from anywhere in North America. 1-888-49-I-CAME. That's 1-888-494-2263. Tell us what you think about the music we play. Tell us what we should play. Tell us if you came. 1-888-49-I-CAME. Always a happy ending. Compliments of Climax Radio. And that is Survive, the second song that we have played from this artist that I know has an astounding future ahead of him. Mr. Magnum, what did you think of that particular song?
Another great track. I gotta tell you, I can't wait to listen to this disc. I really want to get through it all because, yeah, like I said in part one, he's got great talent.
We made the comparison of the whole Johnny Cash thing, which he actually lists as one of his influences. It's just the voice, the guitar, sitting in Rick Rubin's living room, doing the whole tape thing. I mean, you have to be able to do it at that level.
Yes. Because
at some point you have to play live. People have careers nowadays and they never play live. They never play in the raw. The sound man becomes part of the band almost, and it's terrible. This is going back to the roots. When he steps into the studio, when he starts, twiddling the dials and has someone make him sound like he can sound, like only he can sound, it's going to sound phenomenal. I do have to say though, at the beginning of this particular song, when I first listened to it, I thought that I had a copy of Sheryl Crow in the CD player because the first 5 seconds of that song sounds like the Sheryl Crow song Leaving Las Vegas. I'll leave it up to the listenership to go and find a copy of that.
Yes.
Download it and listen to it. I don't know if it was a unconscious honoring, I guess that would be the best way to phrase it, by Matt. But I mean that's just something funny that struck me as I was listening to that CD.
Yeah.
All the links to everything that Matt has is available. ClimaxRadioshow.com, and of course, once again, his website, MySpace.com/MATTEMPACHER. With any luck, we are going to have a special announcement regarding him and future episodes of Climax Radio Show. I will leave it at that. I don't want to say too much about it because, of course, it's still in the planning stages. But we will get to that, and hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. So that is my first song. Mr. Magnum, take it away.
My first track for this part 2 of episode 6, I'm going to pull a track from the original motion picture soundtrack to the Motorcycle Diaries. The whole CD has been composed by Gustavo Santaolalla. Santaolalla. I hope I'm getting this right. Now it's my turn to mess up on names.
Go ahead.
Now the composer, he is Argentinian, and his main genre is Spanish rock. He plays guitar, he can sing, and he plays the charango, which is from the Lute family.
Okay.
We can even go for a cartoon reference here. Martin Prince from The Simpsons, he plays the lute.
The lute, yes, that's right. That's
which
right.
is similar to that, same family.
Okay.
Anyway, the CD is mostly acoustic. There's a couple of tracks from other performers, which have some lyrics to it that were used in the film as well. What else can I tell you about it? The track we're playing is the first track, and it's called Apertura. I think it means opening. Either opening of the movie or opening of the CD, like the introduction.
Oh, like aperture on a camera.
Like Apertura opening.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. It's an instrumental track. And, if I like to suggest the movie is a must-see. It's really good. It talks about a little info on the movie since we're on the subject.
This is what we didn't cover in part 1.
Right.
We had a little small introduction to the piece.
Yeah.
But
so I'm just going to give a small description of the movie. And The Motorcycle Diaries is an autobiographical book by the famous revolutionary Che Guevara and his travels through South America with his friend Alberto Granado. And they toured. They went all the way north on a motorcycle, which was a 1939 Norton 500. If there's anyone that motorcycle buffs out there, Che, most of you know, was born to an upper middle class family, and this was his very first expedition into in and around Latin America. The book, he details the role and life of the indigenous peasantry throughout Latin America, including mine workers and persecuted communists fleeing their homes. The book ends with a declaration of Che of his willingness to fight and die for the cause of the proletariat in Latin America.
I think it's proletariat.
Proletariat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Proletariat in Latin America.
So he's from Argentina.
He's Argentinian, yeah.
So what's the big deal with him in Cuba? He was just there, like he was one of the first guys to. He was.
No, he helped Castro.
So he helped him
take Cuba. Yeah, actually, the battle that Che was in was in Santa Clara, and Che's battle there, he with winning the fight in that town, sealed the deal.
That was it. That was
that won the whole thing.
Okay, excellent.
So he had a big part in the Cuban Revolution.
And the movie chronicles everything up to, or is it just like one of those prequel things where it shows him getting on his bike?
It shows him. Yeah. It shows what he sees in Latin America, and it pretty much plants the seed of his destiny.
Excellent. So this piece here is an instrumental piece?
It's an instrumental piece.
Okay,
and it's from the movie Motorcycle Diaries. Go watch it, and if you like the music you hear in the movie, pick up the CD, because that's what I did. So here it is, Apertura. that was the track. A few words, important notes about the composer. This guy is a 2-time Academy Award winner. He wrote the score, the whole original soundtrack to Brokeback Mountain, which he won the Academy Award for the original music, as well as the movie Babel, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the one with
Brad Pitt.
That's that one, Brad Pitt, right?
I think it's Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
I've never seen that movie. I think it was a prestige picture that didn't get so much prestige.
Yeah. I didn't like the movie. I watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It was...
Doesn't it fly back and forth between like Africa, Japan,
yeah, different scenes. It's
different
like
stories.
Yeah, different stories, all based on where this gun originated from.
Which is not a bad idea. I mean, that can
It's
be
not a bad idea.
Can be done well.
I found it. Yeah, they didn't do it well. That's all.
I have to say, this song, it really had that epic movie feel to it.
It did. It did.
Very, very well done.
It did. It an epic feel.
Now, one thing that you did not mention before, I'm going through the booklet here, and I'm the CD packaging is nice. They have a map of South America, and it shows the actual route that the motorcycle took.
Yeah.
Up the spine of the Andes.
Yes. Yeah.
Going, all the way around, because I guess that was all rainforest. They couldn't go through there.
And it
Brazil.
snowed. They were doing that.
Yeah. The pictures in the booklet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're obviously pictures shot from the movie, but there are some establishing scenes in here, shots. One thing you did not mention. Obviously, he's most famous for Cuba.
Yes.
After the image of a motorcycle.
Yes.
How did he wind up in Cuba? Just as a general reference point.
Well, he ended up in Cuba by he met Castro in Mexico. Castro, I believe, I could be wrong now. He lost. I guess he was fighting in Cuba. He lost. He got. I don't know if he got kicked out or he ran, and he went to go hide in Mexico. Well, Che was there in Mexico. They met up and they spent a few days together. And I think Castro invited him to come along.
Now, on the website, are you going to be putting up links only to the soundtrack?
What else would you like me to post?
Because this is a very interesting story here.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I have never really delved into the history behind this. I've never had an impetus to read the book or anything like that.
Right.
If you could put up just some general links underneath the main link that we're going to have in the posting.
Sure.
Just anything that you find of interest, because I'm sure we're going to have people going to the site, and it's going to be the first time that they've heard of this guy. Yep. And we can't do justice to it because we're here talking about music specifically. Yeah. But we can't do justice to this story.
Yeah. No, it's a great story, and Che Guevara, he's smart. He was a smart guy. He's a doctor,
Yes, it says in the booklet that he specialized in leprosy.
Yeah. In the movie, you'll see that as they ride, their end of their motorcycle journey takes them to a leprosy camp, or just where they look after all the lepers and stuff, and that's where his journey ends there. What was I going to say? Now, there's also, if you're interested in learning more about Che, Steve Soderbergh?
Yeah, sounds...
Steve Soderbergh?
That sounds right.
He is directing, or I think the movie's been done. He's doing 2 movies based on Che. One... No, I'm gonna.
These are like mainstream Hollywood films?
No American. There was no money from U.S.
backers. It was just
exactly. I don't know where he got the money from, but as I did look this up before, and it was not made with U.S. backers. But yeah, there's 2 movies coming up. The first one he's going to release takes place after Castro takes over Cuba. Okay, and it's based on Che. And then another one, they've been shot back to back, I read, and the other one will take place before. Just before Castro takes over Cuba. Yeah.
Excellent.
And what else can I tell you?
We will have all those links up at climaxradioshow.com for anyone who wants to learn a little bit more about that. See, that's one of the beauties of this show, because we can go from something like that, thought-provoking,
Very.
a piece of world history, really,
Yeah.
that more people should be familiar
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. I got the names of the titles.
Go ahead.
Gorilla is the first film, which takes place in 1964,
Okay.
and then The Argentine takes place before that, and Benicio del Toro plays Che.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's going to be a good movie already.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see it. But there's no word. The release should happen in 2008, but no exact date is. But the exact date is yet to be confirmed.
It might have been affected by that whole writers thing. Who knows?
I don't know, but they shot it in '07, I think. Both films back to back over 90-day period, beginning in May.
Okay.
No U.S. financing. Now this happened. Remember the movie Traffic?
Yes.
Same thing. Studios have passed up on Traffic, and then next thing you know, Traffic is
Oscar winning and
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
yeah, and the same thing happened with this. So hopefully this movie is a real winner.
Well, let's just hope that nobody gets fired
Yeah.
for
Well-
passing up on it. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Although you probably get fired for stuff that you actually did. But anyways, okay. Yes, as I was mentioning before, this is the part of the show that I love, because we can go from something like that
Yep.
to my next song, which, well, not exactly a song, it's a piece of audio called Hillbilly Hair featuring Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
This is the companion piece to an item that we had in part 1. We played Rabbit of Seville.
Mhm.
I'll let you go and check that out in part 1, and also don't forget all the links to this to these two pieces are up on the website. Usually we place links to items that you can purchase. However, for this one, we placed links to the actual cartoon through YouTube. So you can go and check that out, and after you hear the song, if you're anything like me, after you hear the piece of audio, you will be running to your computer because you will have images flying through your head of things that are a little bit hazy and you remember, and you will be chuckling to yourself, waiting for that YouTube slow-ass connection to load. And I know it's YouTube.
I
because
thought
I've
it was
used
just my web
I've
connection.
used YouTube at many different computers.
Oh.
And it's just, I mean, you figure for the time it takes to load, the video quality would be HD, but it's the grainiest piece of shit I've ever seen. That does not take away from the fact that this piece that I'm going to play for you, called Hillbilly Hair, it shows the genius of Looney Tunes. Mel Blanc did all the voices for all the Looney Tune characters.
Yeah.
And I saw a video of him once switching from character to character, going from Bugs to Daffy to Porky Pig to everything.
Yeah.
Hilarious. To think that it all comes out. I mean, the closest thing we have to him right now is probably Hank Azaria.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the closest thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
This cartoon that the audio comes from was actually one of the banned cartoons. And as a diversion, when you're on the website, type in banned cartoons or banned Bugs Bunny cartoons. You will bring up some nuggets from World War II and just before World War II, where he is making fun of Japanese and Germans like there is no tomorrow.
Right.
And you wonder, I mean, there was no political correctness at this stage.
No.
The short storyline to this is Bugs Bunny goes on vacation in the Ozarks in the U.S. and of course, before you know it, he's being chased down by two rednecks, and they are not portrayed favorably. They have the southern drawl that makes them all sound stupid. They're running around with straw hats, no shirts, coveralls with like one strap undone, and bare feet.
Yes.
Like huge bare feet, just to make them look stupid.
Yes.
Bugs gets into some shenanigans with them. He dresses up like a girl, which he does quite a bit. It's hilarious. He dresses up like a girl, and he asks one of them for a nickel to put in the jukebox. And the name of the band, he puts a nickel in the jukebox, and a live band pops up. and they're called the Sour Belly Trio. And these guys are playing, all the stereotypes. One of them is playing a fiddle.
Yes.
One of them is playing one of those washing boards.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
sounds like this. I don't know if
Yes.
that's coming through. And one of them is playing a jug.
The jug. Yes. Homer's thinking music.
Homer's thinking music. Exactly. It's a great cartoon. It's a great piece of audio. I thank the member of the listenership who called in requesting Rabbit of Seville. Now she called in on the Climax line 1-888-49 I came. That's 1-888-494-2263. Toll free across North America. We actually played her request because we mentioned it many times before. You call in, you will be heard. You will get your voice on the radio. She took us up on it, and she's now in the show. And at this time, when you're listening to this, if you're hearing part 2, that means part 1 is already out there, and she is on the internet. If you want to have your voice heard, you must call the Climax line 1-888-49 I came. 1-888-494-2263, toll free across North America. Without further ado, here is Hillbilly Hair.
Let's all square dance. Places all. Bow to your corner. Bow to your own. 3 hands up and round you go. Break it up with a do-si-do. Chicken in the bread pan, kicking off dough. Step to Maloo, my darling. The old lady out, you pretty little thing. And promenade around the ring. Big foot up and little foot down. Make that big foot jaw the ground. The lady step back and 2 gents in. Back you go and forward again. Step right up with an elbow swing. Step to Maloo, my darling. Alaman left with the old left hand. Follow through with the right and left grand. Meet your honey with a great big smile. Promenade Indian style.
Promenade across the floor, sashay right on out the door, and into the glade, and everybody promenade. Step right up, you're doing fine. I'll pull your bed, you pull mine. It again, look at it before. Break it up with a tug of war. Now into the brook and fish for the trout. Dive right in and splash about. Trout, trout, pretty little trout. One more splash and come right out. Shake like a hound dog, shake again. Wallow around in the old pig pen. Oh, wallow some more, you'll know how. Roll around like an old fat sow. Element left with your left hand. Follow through with the right and left grand. Now leave your partner in the dirty old thing. Follow through with an elbow swing. Grab a fence post, hold it tight. Whomp your partner with all your might. Hit him in the chin, hit him in the head. Hit him again, the critter ain't dead. Whop him low and whop him high. Stick your finger in his eye. Pretty little rhythm, pretty little sound. Bang your heads against the ground. Promenade all around the room. Promenade like a bride and groom. Open up the door and step right in. Close the door and into a spin. Whirl, whirl, twist and twirl. Jump all around like a flying squirrel. Now don't you cuss and don't you swear. Just come right out and form a square. Now right hand over left hand under. Both join hands and run like thunder. Over the hill and over the dale. Duck your head and lift your tail. Don't you stray and don't you roam. Turn around and promenade home. Corn in the crib and wheat in the sack. Turn your partner, promenade back. And now you're home. Bow to your partner. Bow to the gent across the hall. And that is all.
Now, Mr. Magnum, tell me, what did you think of Hillbilly Hair?
Well, I bowed to my left and I bowed to my right here. Oh, that was great.
Oh, the swings that we can do on this show, it's fantastic. From that heavy, intense episode in world history, and then we go to Hillbilly Hair.
That's right.
You never know what you're going to hear on this show.
Right.
And we prove it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
I must make one correction. We heard the jug band sound.
Yes.
Not the jug, the jug sound. The
Yeah.
right. That's actually not someone in the Sour Belly Trio. It's actually one of those like concertina accordion type little thingies.
Yeah.
You see them every time you see hillbillies on TV, right? So that was in there. That's my fault there. But that, as I mentioned in part one, that brings me back to a simpler time in my life. There is nothing that can compare to this.
No.
The violence is cartoony, yes, but it also has an emotional wallop that you don't see in cartoons nowadays. And that audio stands up on its own. Again, as I mentioned before the song, if you want to see more of the Bugs Bunny, you can just type Bugs Bunny into YouTube. The links will be up, climaxradioshow.com. But take a second and look at some of the banned cartoons. You might even get one of the, what's the little rodent's name? Speedy Gonzales.
Yes.
Speedy Gonzales. A lot of his cartoons, also Speedy Gonzales, the Mexican rodent, he was also banned because it just made Mexicans out to be super, super lazy. Yeah, like, I mean, that's at the time when these things came out, there was no political correctness.
Right.
They didn't worry about feelings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They just put something out because it was funny. And I'm sure that, you get people from the South to watch this. I don't think that they'll be offended by it.
I don't know. Come on.
I really don't. Because Looney Tunes took shots at everybody. They took shots at the Asians. They took shots at the Italians, at the French with Pepe Le Pew. I mean, how many times did they rag on the French with that character?
Yeah.
Right? They took shots at everyone because it's funny. This is really the precursor to South Park, in my mind. Because South Park has that no-holds-barred attitude as well.
Right.
They're a little too... I mean, I like the way that their shows are structured, but they're a little too much on the head for me.
Right.
This is, plain fun that...
Yeah.
You can watch this. You can watch this with kids. It doesn't matter what age you are. South Park, you have to be of a certain age to get it.
Yeah, I think South Park does it on purpose.
Well, for sure, but South Park's audience is people like me and you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, if you put South Park on for a 6-year-old, that's not gonna be entertaining for them.
Right. Yeah.
But you hear trout, pretty little trout. I mean, you put that on. Everyone's gonna come flocking to that.
Yeah,
I used to play this when I worked in the video store. I used to play like the Looney Tune tape.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was a blast. You just have people coming into the store, just hanging out, having
just watching.
Yeah, just watching. It was great.
Oh man.
So thank you to the caller. Her name was Melissa, member of the listenership. She put in the original request in part 1. Go back, download it, and check it out, and you can hear the Rabbit of Seville as well.
Awesome.
So that is my second song, Mr. Magnum.
Okay.
Take us away.
My next track is Big Sugar. For those that don't know who Big Sugar were, they were formed in 1991 with vocalist guitarist Gordie Johnson.
Sorry to interrupt, but they are a Canadian band.
They are a Canadian band, yes.
It's hard for us to find Canadian music we like.
Yeah, they are a Canadian band. Now, they've had many members. In 1991, they had bassist Terry Wilkins and drummer Al Cross, but when they really made it big, they had Jamaican bassist Gary Lowe and Kelly Hop, also known as Mr. Chill. He played sax.
Mr. Chill, that's funky.
He played sax, harmonica, and they also had a drummer, but he left. So they had, I guess, that was they didn't have a permanent guy behind the drum kit. But that was the main core of Big Sugar, and they broke up in 2004. Now, I think they really made it big with their Dear Mr. Fantasy, which is the cover version of Traffic's version, Dear Mr. Fantasy, and
that's how I was introduced to the band.
Yeah, me too.
That.
Me too. And that was in 1995, and it was released on an EP. Now, just a quick note as to where are they now. Gary Lowe, the bassist, is now in a band called Truths and Rights, reggae band. Kelly Hop is now fronting his own band called Mr. Chill and the Witnesses. And Gordie Johnson is part of Grady, which is a southern rock band, hard rock.
And you know what? Not one of those names sucks as bad as some of the original names that were thrown around for Lynyrd Skynyrd that we mentioned in part 1.
Right.
Not one of those names is as bad.
No, that's right.
As cringe-inducing as some of the ones that were mentioned for Lynyrd Skynyrd before they became Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm happy to see that these guys are still out there.
They're still out there performing,
jumping around and doing their stuff.
Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is for the next...
Do they still have their Hugo Boss contract for Climax?
I don't know. But yes, they they got their
That's what I
clothing
liked.
from Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
So they were always well dressed.
They had a fucking Hugo Boss clothing
Yeah.
deal
Yeah.
for this little Canadian band. Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
and they were always impeccably dressed.
They were.
Even
were.
the bassist, I remember, he was never a suit and tie man.
Never, but he had
sweaters to die for.
Sweaters.
Oh,
yeah. Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. So they've had a number of albums, and I guess their last one was their greatest hits compilation, Hit and Run. Now, for future episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a track from each. I'm going to try to bring a track from each of their new bands. So I'm going to try and get a track from Grady. I'm going to try and get a track from Mr. Chill and the Witnesses, and a track from Truths and Rights. So that's my plan for future episodes.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
So we can see what they sound like now.
Cool.
Okay. So without further ado, here is Traffic's song "Mr. Fantasy," covered by Big Sugar.
Something to
And that was Dear Mr. Fantasy.
I love that cover.
Yeah.
Because it takes the original and I don't want to say improves, but it gives it another flavor. Because the original one was rather hippie-ish.
Yeah.
This one it's balls to the wall.
It is.
Man.
It is. They did a great job with this.
Just some people they may not know, but the band that originally did it, Traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, their big frontman, Steve Winwood.
Yeah.
Some people may only know him from the 80s, early 90s, when he was putting out really, I don't want to say overproduced, but it was kind of real radio friendly stuff. And he is a musical survivor. This guy has been a prodigy ever since he first started singing. Going back, he's done stuff. First band he was with was called the Spencer Davis Group. He did a stint in Blind Faith, one CD. That's all that they ever put out. He was with Eric Clapton in that band there. And he put out, obviously, the stuff with Traffic, and then he has his solo material.
Mm-hmm.
So he's put out a whack of stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think some of his stuff from the 60s and 70s is better than what he put out now. But for anyone who's out there, you can just go to his website. There'll be a whole list of things there for you to check out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Big Sugar, gets back together soon, because if anything, that cover it shows that those guys can play. Those guys can interpret music. Those guys can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, even their own material was fantastic.
See, I don't know. See, some of their own material, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
No. No, they had enough hits to fill a CD.
Oh yeah, the first song that they came out of which was their own material, I think it's called Head Like a Hole or
Digging a Hole.
Digging a Hole, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that song.
Yeah.
I'm more a fan of their rock and roll stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they slow it down, when they try and do like a ballady type thing.
They do. They do some reggae.
Yeah,
they throw a little reggae beat in there.
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, if you have a reggae bassist, right, that's going to come out.
Yeah.
And it's good that you hit all flavors. For myself, I like them more as a straight rock and roll group. But yes, a cover version for you on ClimaxRadioshow.com. Thank you very much for bringing that, Mr. Magnum. And
You're welcome.
This is, I guess this is my last song here.
Okay.
This is, as I mentioned, my sort of attempt at a getting a mashup. The artist here is Smood, Smood, versus Natasha Grin. The song is called Come Into My Life, and I've mentioned these compilations before.
Mm-hmm.
The CD is Erotic Lounge 6, Seductive Pearls.
Yes.
The link is up. Do yourself a favor, follow it, and check out the album art for Erotic Lounge 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as well.
Yeah.
They get better and better.
Yes.
I thought number 5 was the piece de resistance.
Yes.
And then they put out number 6, and it just blows you away. I don't know who takes these photos.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, sir, I say thank you. I don't know who decides which songs to go on the CD, but I say thank you. It's a 2 CD package. One CD is called Quick and Dirty. One CD is called Slow and Lazy.
Yes.
And I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should put this on for, because if you can't figure it out, you will eventually after you hear the songs.
Yes.
Put it on. Have someone you love next to you.
Yes.
There's really nothing else that I can say about it.
Yeah.
The Erotic Lounge compilations, they're up there. I get the new one every time that it comes out. I check, Amazon, I check Future Shop, I check all the places where I can buy music. Every now and again, I just type in Erotic Lounge just to see if a new one came out.
Yeah.
This one came out in 2007, so it's fresh, it's new, it has Climax Radio Show written all over it. This is Smood versus Natasha Grin with Come Into My Life.
platinum diamond nights, and I'm sure sweet melodies that you wanna need. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Come into my life. Come into my life. Boy, I adore you. Because I can brighten up your days. And when you're feeling bad, put a smile on your face. Can you tell me what price must I pay to make you see things my way? For the heart that keys to my life. Good times with Lord, if you make our love strong and tight. Together as one, not two, we'll shine like diamond us, and I'll show you sweet melodies that you wanna need. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. So much. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Because I brighten up your days. And when I'm feeling bad, I put a smile on your face. Can you tell me what price must I pay to make you see things my way? Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. So much love. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Come into my life, I got so much love to show you. Come into my life, boy, I know you. Come into my life, to show you. Come into my life. Got so much love.
Yes, Mr. Magnum, now tell me.
I loved those albums. I've heard all of them, and they're all great. And lucky you're not wearing a skirt right now.
Well, see, after that song, you gotta talk like this. You gotta just slow it down a bit.
I have to say though, I think I prefer album cover to number five better than the sixth one.
For me, it's neck and neck.
It's
I
that
mean,
that blonde curly hair makes it feel like something out of the 80s.
really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No?
Yeah, body's hot, but the hair is not working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
See-
prefer that fifth album cover.
I mean, my all-time favorite is album cover number 5.
yeah,
That's
shit.
That's the stuff.
That's a great one.
That's the stuff right there.
Yeah.
But this one here, I mean, maybe it's just because it's new right now and it's growing on me, right?
Yeah.
Because it's new. It's like, oh my God, Erotic Lounge.
Yes.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
you can't really get that excited about it because you have to. You always got to be laid back and mellow.
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
It's like, oh man, number 6. Right on. But yes, number 5 is the one. Now, I also wanted to say one more thing about the Erotic Lounge compilation.
Uh-huh.
Again, this is something, indicative of what Climax Radio Show really is. It's not just about playing sexy music like this, right? It's also about listening to the listenership. I mean, this whole thing, this was sparked in my head of a song to play because of some bits that we had in episode 6, part 1. We had the call-in from a member of the listenership requesting a song, proving that, we have the sexiest listenership out there.
Right.
We also had a new bit, which we are going to use every time that we get a chance, Mr. Magnum's email sexification. I'm not going to mention one more thing about it because I would be doing a disservice to you by not letting you go download part 1 and listen to Mr. Magnum's email sexification. That being said, I am finished for part 2. That is my song list. Mr. Magnum, I believe you have one more to go.
I have one more to go. I've got a mashup coming to the listenership. It is from a DJ that goes by the name of Komar, DJ Komar. He's got his own website. He's from France, and I think this is the first mashup from this DJ that I'm bringing to the show. The 2 songs he's mashed up are Rihanna, Shut Up and Drive, and New Order song Blue Monday. So that makes the song called Shut Up on a Blue Monday.
Shut Up on a Blue Monday. There are people that are experiencing a big backlash to Rihanna.
Really?
Yes. And I can tell you exactly why. Because every song that she puts out that's come off of her latest CD, radio plays it into the ground.
Oh.
There is an overexposure happening with her.
Oh. I see.
Because people latch on to this one thing and they just destroy it.
Right.
I mean, okay, for us, we're going to give you a little different flavor of her.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Which is nice, because otherwise you can turn on the radio, get in your car, drive for 10 minutes at any time of day, and you'll hear it 5-6 times maybe.
Right.
Right. Sorry, the website, I don't think you actually gave it out. I know we're going to have links on the website, but we like to mention it as well.
The website, the DJ's website is komar.over-blog.fr.
Okay.
That's the address, and I will put it on the site.
Okay.
Okay?
Excellent. Let's hear this.
So here's Shut Up on a Blue Monday by DJ Komar.
Does it feel when you treat me like you do? And place your hands upon me and tell me who you are. I thought I was mistaken, and I thought I heard your words. Tell me how do I feel? Tell me now how do I feel?
Now shut up and drive, drive, drive. Shut up and drive, drive, drive.
First you can call me, and if you look at locations, I found a fast until completion. Well, turn away no more. And I still don't find it so hard to see what I need to say. Sure that you'll tell me, and just
Go, get you where you wanna go, if you know what I mean. Got a ride that's smoother than a limousine. Take your head of the curves, till you run all the lights. If you can, baby boy, then we can go all night. That's a 0 to 60 and 3.5. Baby, you got the key. Now shut up and drive, drive, drive. Shut up and drive, drive,
take me while I walk down to the beach. I tell you how does it feel when you're
Shut up and drive, 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 drive. Shut up and drive, 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 drive. Shut up and drive, 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 drive. Shut up and drive, 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 drive.
How was that song?
I like it. I like it. And from listening to it now, it actually popped into my head that the Shut Up and Drive song, the backing music is actually not that much different in terms of, tempo and beat and whatever from the original New Order song.
I haven't heard the Shut Up and Drive original version.
You've never actually heard the entire song all the way through?
No.
They play the video like 20, 30 times a day.
Oh, really?
And you actually get the real MTV, so I'm really surprised that you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I'm shocked. No, it's good. I mean, as a mashup, I mean, I don't know how much. Maybe there wasn't as much production on this one because the songs do really seem to go together well. Unlike some of the other ones that you've brought, where there are like 5, 6, 7 bits of songs in there.
Right.
I like this one. I like this one.
Yeah. That New Order song has a good beat to it, so.
And if there are any Rihanna fans out there, we did a little bit of Googling here. We were trying to remember the name of another 80s band that she ripped off. Well, I don't know, ripped off. I'm sure she paid them something. But the Soft Cell song from 1981, Tainted Love, that was the base for her song SOS, Rescue Me. So she has a connection to that early 80s synthesizer pop. I mean, I'm sure she wasn't born at that point. So, I mean, I'm sure she probably never heard that stuff before. But whoever is turning the light switches on and off for her in the studio knows what they are doing.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end of part 2.
That's it.
Episode 6 part 2 is in the books. Once again, before we go, visit climaxradioshow.com. Subscribe on iTunes. You can look for us. Or you can subscribe in the RSS feed reader of your choice. We have buttons all over the website for that. Also, look on the website. You can find links to the individual podcasts for both myself and Mr. Magnum. I'm sure you've heard the liners as you've been going through the show now. Don't forget, download part 1 and then experience the full musical goodness of climaxradioshow.com.
Yes.
As always, another happy ending. Compliments of Climax Radio.
See you next time.
You've been listening to Climax Radio. Subscribe for free on iTunes and visit us on the web at climaxradioshow.com. Always a happy ending. Compliments of Climax Radio.